All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. We are live. What a day to be in. First of all, welcome. This is pre-market setup with Coach Brian. If you've never seen me before, I'm the founder of Kingdom Day Traders. Our mission is very specific: to touch 100,000 lives, people and individuals, to learn the skills of day trading and digital marketing so they can live life on purpose and build God's kingdom. If you're grateful to be here this morning, put that in the chat. Just type in, I'm grateful. You know, we always got to show some gratitude. Gratitude is very important for us. Shout out to Teresa. I know it's early on your side. 5:32 on the West Coast. Welcome. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening in the market this morning. We're going to go over some of that as well. But what I do want to do is kind of ease your mind a little bit, because we have to be careful of how we speak, what we meditate on. So, if your first time that you've heard me, we do something called the M3 strategy. Say it with me, please. Mindset, multiplication, and management. Say it again. Mindset, multiplication, and management, the M3 Dominion strategy. I want to just go over some word right quick, and this is what I was meditating on. Let me just bring it to the stage over here as well. And it was coming out of Psalms 14. And let's just read this together. And this is the ESV, English Standard Version. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. As you see the craziness in times, one thing that we have to be reminded of is that we can't trust in money, we can't trust in finance, we can't trust in political figures, but we can trust in the Lord. And so we want to be very careful on what leaves our mouth, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. Is that making sense, everybody? Now, I got another good scripture for you guys today. So if you skip some service this week, no worries. I'm going to bring it back to you. Now, this is a very powerful one, and I'm going to read it to you. This is Psalm 62, 5-8. And you know what? I'll type it in here as well, so that way that you can get it. And make sure you take down these scriptures down. Come on now. This stuff will bless you. It will bless you. I promise you. Right? And so we want to do the same one. Boom. Pull it up right quick. And yes, you guys ready? Yes, my soul find rest in God. My hope comes from him. Type of amen if you agree with that. Truly, he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in him at all times. You people, pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge. Just type of amen if you agree with that. Here's the reason that I'm saying this. As we go through the craziness in the markets, and you're going to see it in a few minutes, you'll have ups and you'll have downs. If you're not, you'll be very anxious. You'll say, what's going on? And you'll try to control different things. Let me just remind everybody, God is good. Doesn't mean that we won't be frustrated. Doesn't mean that we won't have ups and downs. But as a reminder, build your trust on the rock. Yes. Because the word says that the sands of life will happen to everybody. But the people that have a solid foundation will last. Type that in the chat, please. Last. You want to be able to last. You don't want to just, have things just happen and you don't know what to go and go to. Does that make sense? So as we move on, this is pre-market. We want to see what's going on. And folks, I have to tell you guys, let me just read this announcement, and I'm going to shoot my screen. This came out, and this is coming from FinVix. Live updates. I read this earlier. Dow futures tumble 1,000 points as global stock market rout intensifies. Live updates. Yep. And so I'll just read it to you a little bit. Stock futures tumbled Monday as part of a global market sell-off centered around U.S. recession fears. The Japan's Nikkei 225 plunged 12% in the worst day since 1987. My gracious, folks. We're talking about almost 40 years ago, and it just topped it. Here's where U.S. stock market futures stand at the moment. SP 500s are down 3.9% after the benchmark loss, 1.8% on Friday. NASDAQ futures lost 5.3% as big tech stocks got hit hard in early trading. And then Dow Jones dropped 1,050 points or 2.6%. Why are they saying this is happening? Fears of U.S. recession were the main culprit for the global market meltdown after Friday's disappointing July job reports. Please write this down, please. Fundamentals move the markets. Fundamentals move the markets. Now, is it okay? Can I give you guys some spiritual insight? Is that okay? Just type a 10 in the chat if that's okay with you guys, right? I just want to let you know. I follow some pretty respected prophets, and I'm not just talking about people talking, but multiple people have said, get ready, man. Stuff is about to hit the fan. So please listen to me. When we talk about mindset, multiplication, and management, one thing that we have to remind ourselves on is that we have to be good managers, but also we have to prepare for what's going on. Now, I watched this video on YouTube yesterday. Let me see if I can just find it. Let me just do a stop share so I'll talk about it. But it blew my mind, and this is stuff that you have to really be ready for. Does guys ever understand that? A lot of times real estate will be one of the last things that shows up. Sometimes it shows up initially, but I've been seeing that you can have real estate go up and down. And so I'm just going to pull up this video. I'll share it with you guys. This is actually happening in Florida, right? And folks, let's just read what it says up at the front. And I'm going to start a little bit of this video. You guys ready? You know what? I can't because it'll mess up the whole recording. Do me a favor, you guys. I'll get the link on this one because I don't want Kaylin slapping my hand and saying, Coach, why did you do that for the recording? So I'm going to share this with you guys. But let me just read it because I watched this. It blew my mind. In the month of June, 56,000 contracts got canceled in June in Florida. 56,000. Now, one of the top two places to move in the country has been the state of Florida and also the state of Texas. And so watch this video because it's explaining what's going on in the real estate market. And so the reason that I'm sharing this, even though this is a trading show, is we want to pay attention to the clues. The clues are letting us know something is happening. What I'm believing is that as this stuff unfolds, we have to pay attention to what we have our cash in. We have to pay attention to what we're investing in. And so it's going to be very important for you to diversify. Now, I do need to say this because I'm mentioning this. One, I cannot give you financial advice. I'm not a licensed professional. I don't have a Series 7 or 63. So again, I'm speaking from an educational standpoint. And what I'm sharing with you is education regarding day trading. So I cannot tell you what to do. Collectively, we're looking at this stuff together, and we're trying to put the pieces together to see what's actually going on. Does that make sense? I just wanted to be very clear with you guys on this. But make sure you watch this video. I did put it in the chat, and I think he just gives a great example of what's going on and what we have to be aware of. Let me share this with you guys as well. This election is going to be huge. And what I'll tell anybody, right, because biblically speaking, I always tell people, man, who do you want in office? The way that I vote is I want a righteous candidate. What does that mean, Coach? I look at what the Bible says for what I stand for, and I choose a candidate based on that. I remove emotions. I remove feelings. That's it. In some cases, sometimes I feel like I don't even have a choice. I'm just being candid with everybody. I do play for leadership because we have to pray for who's in the office because policies can affect our nation, our children, and everything else. Does that make sense? One of my biggest concerns is when we look at inflation, when we look at the jobs report, when we look at what's going on with the country, we have to pay attention to that. Folks, there's so much tension going on. My wife and I were watching what was going on in Israel between Hamas and just the Middle East. It was absolute craziness. And I'm definitely lifting up prayers over there because I think Americans take it for granted that you're not living in essence of a civil war, having to wake up and wonder are missiles coming and just doing everyday, just basic things and wondering if somebody's trying to take you out. But let me just be very candid. It doesn't mean that this can't come to this country. And one of the things that we have to talk about at the ballot this time is we have to have somebody in office that can diffuse World War III. Yeah, when's the last time you've seen somebody post some stuff about that? because we have a lot of people that have nuclear powers. And folks, if this, just imagine a person can push a button and in less than 90 minutes, 70% of the world is gone. How crazy is this? So, why am I sharing all these different things? I'm not trying to be a doomsday prophet. What I am going to say is read the book of Revelations. Some stuff we can pray for, and some stuff is just going to happen no matter what. My hope is that as we're doing this, that we mentally get prepared. And so, if you can, I want you to write down this word called Goshen. 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 It's mentioned in the book of Genesis. I want you to search this. This was a place that God protected his people, although there was a famine. Write this down, please. One of our hopes is, as we're going through this information, is we want you to be protected, even though a famine might be coming. Does that make sense? When I say famine, and just think about this, if you've lived a little bit, imagine you're raising a family or you're just living and you're seeing that what you spent $300 worth of groceries 2 years ago, now you look at it now and you're getting a third of what you got before. That's real, folks. So now one of the biggest things that's going in the market, and I just want to show you guys just a series of reports, is that there's a big fear and people are wondering, man, how am I going to doggone survive? And so just look at this, folks. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, and this is why I like to stand up and look at different markets. But look at this red box right here. Almost looks like a Rubik's Cube, right? Predominantly red. We're seeing that in the tech sector, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple. But please listen to me. It does not mean that there's not any opportunities. So I want you to kind of shift your mind right quick. Why everybody is panicking, you have to be pragmatic and ask yourself, where are the opportunities? Type a 7 in the chat if you guys are tracking with me. Just want to see if you guys are still there. So let's look at just news right quick. I'm switching the screen. Let's see. Volatility is now rising. The stocks draw an upgrade. Okay. Stock sell off at Cascade. So let's go ahead and click this one. And so make sure you're looking at this, right? Now, here's what I'm seeing, and I've seen this many times before. And let me know if this has happened for you. How many times have you seen it open like this, where it says stock market news today, NASDAQ futures sink 4%, Dow futures cascade down as global sell-off intensifies. And as soon as the market opens, instead of it dropping more, it shoots back up. Just put a 7 if that's ever happened to you before. And shout out to Rabelon. We got Liz in the building. Definitely good to see the troops in here in the building. How many times have you seen that before, right? And so one thing that I want to say is be very careful that you just don't follow headlines and just jump into trades. Because please listen to me. Everybody put up your 3. You need to understand the fundamentals. You need to understand the technicals. And you need to understand the market sentiment. Does that make sense? So let's read a little bit. And this just came out minutes ago. Wall Street stock sell-off was set to intensify in a major way Monday as concerns mount over the health of the U.S. economy. Please write this down. We cannot keep on printing fake money. Folks, when you look at our debt, and with the last administration, I'm giving facts, and the amount of currency that has been in circulation, they have printed 60% within this last administration. So think about the amount of currency that's been in circulation since we've been creating as a country. Come on, folks. Please listen to me, because we're not an old nation. 60% of that currency was printed within the last 4 years. We are trillions upon trillions and trillions of debt. Let me just see if I can type this in the chat. I don't know if you guys have done this recently. Let's see. U.S. debt calculator. Debt clock. See if we can pull it up. You guys ready? Don't get scared now. Folks, I don't even know how to read this number. I want to say it's about 35 trillion. I heard something the other day, and I think I might even mess it up. But let's just say if you paid back, I think they said $1, and you did $1 trillion, we're talking about thousands of years. Don't quote me. but it was a long doggone time. Why am I saying this? When you look at all of this stuff that's going on, folks, you can't keep on having bad debt like this and the debt doesn't affect you. It's almost like a house of cards. One bad move and everything cracks. Everybody just type this in the chat, please. I just kind of feel led to do this right now. We really need to be praying for our country. And the reason that I'm saying this is that in the position where the U.S. is right now, if the U.S. falls, it affects the world. Does everybody understand this? If the U.S. falls, it affects the world. Right now, with the weakening of the dollar as it's going on as we speak, we also have the BRICS nations. We talked about that a long time ago, and I'll just serve as a reminder, right? In the BRICS nations, you have Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Venezuela, and it's just they're just getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. And what's been going on is they've been wanting to get off the gold standard. I'm sorry, get off the dollar standard. So if you're buying oil as it speaks right now, please listen. Whatever your country is, as it speaks right now, you convert that into US dollars and then you buy the oil. And folks, we have a lot of countries that are upset with that. And you've got some of the powers that be, like George Soros and all these different things. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's not a doggone conspiracy. It's right in front of you. And they want to change our freedoms for what we have in the U.S. They want to take the U.S. off of it. So when I'm talking about the U.S., I'm not just limiting to the U.S. We're talking about Canada. We're talking about the U.S. We're talking about Mexico. So let's definitely be praying for our nation. And Liz, you're correct. We need to pray for the world. You know what we want in the office? We want to have some righteous leaders in the office. And Liz, thank you for saying that, right? Let's just not just limit it to the United States. Let's pray for the world that we have some understanding. So, folks, I want to dive in a little bit. My apologies for this. It's right around 8:49 p.m. We have roughly about 40-something minutes. One thing that I'm looking at is just headlines, and here's a major one. Everybody watch this one. Apple shares dropped 7% after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway slashes stake by half. Everybody type this in the chat, please, if you're listening to me. Follow the money. Follow the money. Yeah, I'm waiting for you guys. So now I showed you some headlines. What I want to do now is I'm going to look at Apple. You guys see this. This is pre-market. So Apple's going to be kind of stagnant right now. I think the better thing to do would be is let's go out there and check the NQ. And remember, Apple is in the NQ. Now, I've been trading this morning. I did find some pretty decent moves. It's very choppy today, folks. I'm talking about very choppy. Here's what I want to do, right? Let's see. I want to look at this particular candle. You guys see that one? Okay. That was Wednesday. Okay. And then I want to go to this next one, which was Thursday. Okay. You guys got that? Now, as I do this, right, I want to do this line and I'm just going to mark it up. Okay. And then I'm going to copy this. You guys see that? That's Friday. Now, just think about what's going on, right? Let's put some dates to this, and okay? And so just imagine what I'm doing is really building up a thesis and a hypothesis of what's going on. You guys see that? So we have Wednesday the 31st. We have Thursday, August 1st. And then we have August 2nd here. Okay? You guys track with me, please. Now, we know what came out on this day was non-farm payroll, NFP. You guys see that? NFP. And if you look at the sell-off, right, let's just look at the range. So I want everybody to look at this. We were at a high of 19,730. 19,730. Okay? And as it stands right now, We're at 17,483. Folks, if you do some basic math, this is falling hundreds of points. Yeah, hundreds. Now, can a lot of money be made? Yes. But the hard part is the guessing game, right? There's a big guessing going on because we don't know. And so here's where a lot of people are concerned is if you look at what happened Friday, it literally fell. Wow. 16. Wow. 1,624.50, 1624.50. We're talking about in less than 2 trading days. And here's what I'm doing, right? I'm kind of zooming out and I'm looking at areas to say, where can this market possibly turn or at least pause? And so here's one thing that I'm going to say is I'm going to say if you're deciding to trade this market, you need to be very cautious, very cautious. And as you're being cautious, don't just make your decisions on supply and demand. Does that make sense, folks? Because when you have things that are going in the news like non-farm payroll and fear, and then wondering, like, is the Fed going to be dropping the interest rates, which is a huge driving force, you really have to ask yourself, how do I trade in these markets? Like, what do I look for? Now, let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper. We're on a weekly chart right here. So this is a weekly chart. We do have a nice demand zone right around here. And notice I went to a very high time frame because I'm trying to gauge where would be an area of probability that perhaps something might turn, right? We still can have our supply and demand, but it's not all about supply and demand. Does that make sense? We have to use other factors that are helping us decide, is this working or not? Does that make sense? You guys, let me know if you're tracking. Put a 7 if you guys are still with me very quick as well. Put a 7, please. Thank you so much. So I'm looking at these big old candles, man. And the last time we were here, December 11th, 2023. Yeah. So we're talking about almost a year. I like this zone and I want to kind of keep on going down. I'm in the daily. And so, folks, do we still see this market structure right here? We have some market structure that's going on right quick as well. I see another turning point. So I want to identify this, right? And I want to put another line. And again, I'm playing the probability game. You guys understand this? I'm playing a probability game. You guys see that? So if you look at where I've marked off with, right? This was a place that the market shot up, rejected, bounced, came back in, full circle. This was a nice demand zone. And now we're here again. Let me make this a little smaller. Do you guys see that? We're here again. Let me know if you're tracking with me. So look what happened. Nice candle shot up. This was actually a fair value gap as well. So kind of filled in a gap right here. Bounced around, same place. Now we're here. Now, based on what's happening, one or two things, right? The market can open and you can say, hey, I'm going to try to couch the bounce right here and take it to the upside. Me personally, that's not what I want to do. To me, there's a lot of just downward momentum, and I don't want to go against the grain. Does that make sense? So one thing that I'm focusing on the daily as I'm looking at this and even going to a weekly time frame, I'm seeing where we're going at, but we have a zone that's right below it. I'm believing that we might get a little bit more of a deeper impulse down and possibly return up. I don't know yet, but I do want to kind of zoom in and just make a decision, or if I'm even going to take a trade, let's go ahead and look at this area to see what's going on. You guys let me know, is this helping you out? So look at this particular area right here. We have a demand zone, market structure. We've came out here pretty fresh right here. And if you would have taken this trade initially, it failed. And watch what happened. Watch what happened. Literally, you had an entry. It shot up $529 or $525. Right now, that is on a day time frame. We know a lot of people, and especially futures, depending on what type of account, definitely not prop firms. I know you're not holding that long, but we do want to look for some scalp opportunities. Is this making some sense? So let's zoom into the 1 hour and let's see what's going on. Now, folks, take this for your notes, please, as well. We're identifying some market structure right around here. We are getting some confluence in this zone, and it does look like a bona fide U-turn, right? It does look like this. But due to the time constraint, I would want to wait and see, do I have anything else that's letting me know if I'm in a forward momentum? Is it a downward momentum? What am I looking at? Does that make sense, everybody? So guess what I want to do now? What I want to do now is use some of my indicators. And these indicators, let me just move around because I got the camera in the way. I want to turn on fixed range value profile. Okay. And so look what I've identified. This price action right here was a huge spot. Very huge. You guys let me know if you're seeing this, okay? So right around here, price took off. How do we know this? Point of control was created, which is the red line, right? I'll put that down for you if you're new. POC. What time did this happen? Okay. So we see that this happened. This was right around 11 a.m. 1 hour time frame. We're going back and notice it's just chopping down, chopping down, chopping down. Now, here's one thing that we need to be aware of. We'll point it out. You guys let me know. There's absolutely a gap in the market. And what have we learned about gaps, folks? Somebody talk to me, please. Gaps equal money. Yes, money. I'm just going to put a money sign. Now, what we don't know is we don't know when it's coming back, but would it be fair to say that it's coming back? So I just want to go just a little bit of different scenarios. What if one of the plays this morning is to fake the market up? Now, am I believing that it's going to come this high? I don't know yet. I really want to see how choppy the market is going to be. But right now, I'm looking for entry points and I'm looking for market structure. And what I do see here is this. Does everybody see this? We have it where the market shot down. Everybody look at it. It went down to 17,333, shot up right around this area. Yep. Came right back down on this price. It's possible that it can come back and at least clear these highs. You guys see this? This is a high right here as well. Let me do this. That's possible that it can clear this high. Do we know that's going to happen? We don't. What we can also tell is that we're at the edge of the volume profile. We're looking at this, but again, let's not get so caught up in what we're seeing. We constantly need to zoom out. And when we zoom out and we go back here and specifically looking to the left, everybody look at it. We see that we're in the demand zone, but we do have some areas that are here. So I'm going to be very candid with you guys. I still have a bias to the downside. I'm not saying that you can't find some momentum, but look at this candle structure. We still have a drop base and a drop going on right now. Does everybody understand this? So we know a drop base drop is a continuation to the downside. Specifically, what we're looking at is we want to see, do we have any abilities to scalp? And so watch what I'm going to do. And if you want to do this for your notes, somebody that I follow and respect uses the EMA 5 and the 50. So the 5 is going to be the blue line. The 50 is going to be the purple. And what I like about using the EMA 5 and 50, and especially on time frames of the 4 hour and below, it lets me know where the overall momentum is currently. I don't depend on it for moves, but I do depend on that it's kind of a further confluence of what it's looking like. So let's just kind of zoom in right quick as well. Let's go to the 5 minute. And so, folks, right now, if you're tracking with me, this is where we would find an entry if we're taking a trade. Are you guys seeing it? So right now, as we speak, we see that price is broke above the 5. Okay. It's going back and forth. I'm liking the candle formation, but also I'm looking to the left right here as well to see, do we have any fair value gaps? And so remember, a fair value gap is going to be formed on a 3 candle formation. Are you guys tracking with me, right? That is what the algorithms are using. So on a 3 candle formation, a lot of times price will go back and forth. And you're actually seeing this right quick as well. And this was on the 5 minute where we had an extreme push up right here. And we had another push up right here as well. Or push down. So look at it. Pushed all the way down to fake you, pushed up to fake you. And notice what's going on. Who's seeing what's going on, folks? This stuff is right here in front of your face. So now as I'm looking at this, I want to see if this candle, if it is going to continue to go up, where should I be taking some profit? Now look at this candle, folks. Look at this setup. And this is why I like the EMA 5. The EMA 5 is showcasing, as we look at this, we are getting some momentum, but we do need to be paying attention to the 50 because the 50 is right here. Is that making sense? Crossed above the EMA 5. This is the 50. We kind of have a trading range between this point and that point. Is that making sense? Hopefully somebody's making some money this morning. You guys are quiet this morning. Put a cha-ching, put a money sign if you've actually jumped in this trade, but we're trying to see what's going on. Now, please listen to me. We do have a traffic jam right around here. We've got a traffic jam. You guys seeing it? So as I'm looking at this trade, what am I identifying? I'm identifying a supply zone. What I liked about the EMA is I saw the rejections and then it broke above. That served actually as a trade signal, which actually aligned up perfectly with my demand zone as well. And I'm looking at time right now as well because I know the market is going to be open in about 26 minutes. So let me just ask everybody, is this stuff clear to you? Is this making some sense? Look at the momentum that we have in this candle. Now, here's another tool that I want to use, right? Let's just add some more stuff to it as well. I want to see the VWAP. And so look at the VWAP right now. I have the colored VWAP. It's red, which means that we're still in a seller's market as we speak. But notice we're getting some short-term upward momentum. Does that make sense? So as we're trading this, we really have both sides. We have it where the market is going up on the short term, but overall, it is in a downtrend. Well, Coach, how do you know this? Let me give you my confluence. Number one, this is below the VWAP. Does everybody see this? Number two, it is below my EMA 50. Number three, my EMA 5 is going down. We still had a crossover. So if we're looking at this trade, and again, this is if you're at an advanced level, I want to be able to see, can I make some money on the short term, but overall, does it make sense for me just to wait to create some setups? So perhaps a greater setup might be that maybe the market breaks above this, maybe goes into this area and sweeps high, and maybe you have a sell coming from this level. We don't know yet. Now look at this candle, folks. This one move, if you look at what happened, and happened right in front of our faces, has literally went up, and this is crazy. This went up $128 in 15 minutes. Wow. 512 ticks. Yeah, 3 bars. And look at this, folks. Let's look at this momentum. Look at the size of this candle. Do we feel like this candle is going to get up to this place? Check it out. Now, remember, purple line is the 50. Let me just type this down for you guys. Purple line is the EMA 50. You guys see it? Blue line is the 5. It looks like it's going to violate this zone. Let's see what happens when it goes here. And I'm zooming in too as well. Notice price is going to be attracted to the point of control, POC. What is the point of control? It's where price had the most amount of volume for that particular time. What's the point of control? Is it 17,735? Are you guys tracking with me? Now, listen to what's going on as well. We still have this red line right here as well, which is the volume profile. Oh, I'm sorry, the VWAP. So I'm going to turn that on. And look at this, folks. This really helps you out. If you look at what I'm using, and let me change the color so it just sticks out a little bit. We have the outside lines of the VWAP, which is this green and this green here. Let's turn this around. Are you guys seeing that? Here's what I've learned. When price is outside of this green line, meaning it could be above or below this one, eventually it's like a magnet. It will come back around this area. Now look at what's going. Come on, you're seeing this stuff live. Hopefully this is helping you. Hopefully this is helping you. Look how it came to that supply zone. Look at it. You guys see that? This is a supply zone right here. And depending on if that was an entry, watch what happened. It hit that zone, and then it dropped $63. Now, you might be saying, so, Coach, what's your position in this, right? I'll be very candid with you guys. With all the movement, I said, you know what? I'm not going to drive myself doggone crazy. Let me look to see what's going on. So can I just give a word of wisdom? Just let me know if you guys can receive this. Me personally, I'm going to wait for the market to move, open. I'm sorry. And I just want to see the fake outs and the manipulation. And I'll probably let that do that for the first 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. And then I'll probably jump in. So I'm looking at what's going on right now because remember, this is still pre-market. And look at the amount of volume that you've seen in pre-market. And so I think wisdom says based on the news, like, let's just look at this, folks. Don't lie to yourself. 4% drop, right? Watch this. It talked earlier about 1,000 points, right? There's a lot of information coming out, you know. You look at FinVix, it's talking about what happened today. It's in the red, right? People are panicking. So wisdom says, let's just kind of wait. Now, with that being said, let me just share one more thing before I get out of here, okay? And just type in value if you're getting value out of today's training. You guys talk back to me, please. You're so quiet today. I guess you guys are just nervous or something's going on. But I pray that you're not operating in fear. Pray it's not fear. So look at this, everybody. We're looking at Apple. And I just want to zoom out for Apple. We just want to do this a little bit different. But let's just say Apple fell around this place, which I actually like this zone. Let me just take this stuff off. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You guys see it? Got a 3 candle formation right here as well. You guys see it? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, write down this price range, please. 207. And look at this, folks. Pre-market is showing 199.12. My gracious. Do you guys see that? That's pre-market. Look at where it's showing right now. And I want to highlight something, right? I want to be very extreme with this. And please add this to your trading. It could take it to the next level. We've got a fair value gap on the daily. You guys see that? Right around here. Now, notice this pre-market is filling in this gap. Please let me know if you guys are seeing this. This pre-market, where I drew this fair value gap, this 3-candle formation, and let me just type this down, please. So that's 1. Let's go to 2. Candle 2. You guys see that? And candle 3. Thank you, Rabbalon. I'm glad that you're getting some value over there, brother. That's always good. Always good. Says I rub my hands together on everything FVG. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Eugene. Good. Appreciate you guys talking back to me. Beautiful. So look at that 3-candle formation. You guys see it? This is 1. Candle 2. Candle 3. Folks, because of how price left, it was so fast, these institutions will activate via algorithms to fill in this gap. Now, here's my play. Let's check it out. And everybody see this number. It's showing 199.85. So let me go ahead and get you prepared for this. The market's going to open, and this is going to shoot down to 199.73. It's going back and forth. It might be a very, very quick impulse. Coach, where are you getting this from? I'm looking at what the number says pre-market right now as well. What if one of the plays, and this is just hypothesis, right, is it starts up here, because guess what? Everybody can see this. And what if it does this? Everybody see that? Do you know how many people would lose money? Can that happen? Yes. Now, again, let's look at this candle, right? This was a big candle. These are day candles. These are day candles. Notice we haven't been here. Please listen. June 11th, 2024. That's the candle that I'm on right now. The fair value gap is June 11th, 2024. Today, it's August 5th. And because it's August 5th, watch this. It's finally coming back to it. So please listen to me. Fair value gaps are different. They're not all the same every single time, but the one on the daily is huge. So again, we're sitting right around this area. So let's zoom out. Let's just zoom. Let's go to the 15-minute. And look how crazy this is, right? I can't even see it. I got to zoom out. And you guys, are you tracking with me? It's showing it right now. And folks, look at the other side. This is on the 30-minute. Wow. Somebody tell me, let me just ask, do you see like you're seeing some money going on right now? Can I ask you guys a question? How many people do you know got iPhones? Yeah, plenty. Don't sleep on this opportunity. Just use wisdom. You guys seen it? Market gap down. And when you look at this gap, in essence, this is what we're seeing right here. It's not even showing. Look at that, folks. Boom. So again, I'm just kind of playing an idea of what I think could happen. Everybody's seeing it's falling. The market opens. Watch this. We have some selling going on. I think it could probably shoot up into this gap, grab some orders, possibly pulsate down. That could happen. Or this candle can come out here and try to sweep. So, Coach, how do I play that? You got to know what your bias is, what you're looking for. Let's go down to a lower time frame. To me, if you're scalping, which I'm a scalper, I'm trying to see what is the short-term play and how can I benefit from it. So let's check this out, right? This is something that I kind of do often. I want to zoom in. How many times have you seen like a swing low like this? You guys see it? And you see price. So just watch what happened. This kind of interjects a little bit. So at one time, this was a demand zone, right? So I'm going to put that in green. Just track with me. You guys appreciate this one. And then price came down, right? And people thought it was a demand zone and it faked up, but instead it actually switched and it became a supply zone. How many times have you ever seen that happen? Like it just disrespects the zone, it just breezes through it. And you're like, what in the heck is going on, man? I thought I had it. And guess what, folks? That's just the cost of the business. So look at what happened, right? This is just something that I like to do, and hopefully this will help you out. I drew a line right here as well because I wanted to see what was that swing point. And so just look at it, right? That was the swing point. That was a nice demand zone. Shot up one time, shot up, boom, two times, boom, violated the zone. And now we had a drop base drop. Look what happened. Came in the zone, and guess what it's doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's dropping. Why am I sharing this to you? You still need to be aware of your foundations, the four candle formations that we taught you guys, because that's still in place. Now, as it's in place, what we're also looking at, and wow, I've been going on almost an hour, is we do want to be aware of the time. So time plays a huge part. Everybody write down time, T-I-M-E, time, time, time. What's happening with the time that's showcasing? So it's very possible that on the short term, we could have this candle give us a little bit of food, right? What I mean by food, drop down, we get some points. But me personally, just seeing from a bigger play and overall, it looks like it's going down still. I'm believing that we're going to have a major fake out. So I just want to draw this out. Does everybody see it? And then I'm going to draw on this side, which is green, because this is going to be a huge pivot point. You guys see that? And look what happens. I'm still scrolling down. So I'm not getting so caught up in what I'm looking at. I zoom out, and this is still the 5 minute to see what the overall play is. Does that make sense, everybody? We have a huge gap, and this gap ranges from 218 to 207. This is showing up on Apple, right? And so if you're doing Apple, you need to look at this because right now it is at a discount. Does that make sense? So again, I can't tell you what to do, but I don't know about you, man. Maybe it makes sense to buy stuff if it's on sale. I don't know. So, if you're still stock trading and you like to get some shares, don't wait till they go up in value. Wait till they fall. And some of the number reports came out because they've been waiting for Apple to integrate the AI. And I've even done some beta testing on it. But I think it's very, very important for you to be aware of what's going on. Okay? Let me go to this last one, and then I'm going to be done. You guys track with me. I'm about to be done right now. So everybody, let's look at the NQ. And again, remember when I had my EMA 5, it's dancing right around this supply zone. And the question is it going to break out of this area to maybe clear these highs right here to ultimately fall down? We don't know. But we do need to be aware of that play of what's possible can happen. Okay? So, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here right now. I have something else coming up. Do me a favor. I want you guys to have a blessed day. Hopefully you got some value. Make sure that you watch the recording. Make sure you subscribe, share. Just let us know if we're helping you guys out. Again, this is Kingdom Assignments, and we want you guys to have a blessed day on purpose. Never forget this, right? It's bigger than you. It's about making an impact. We have to learn how to be firm during the times that are a little bit turbulent. And this is where faith kicks in. Does that make sense? So do me a favor, be blessed on purpose. M3, mindset, multiplication, and management. It's been Coach Brian King. Cheers. God bless you guys. Thank you.